Before we go to break, I think it's time to. We've had a lapse because Lewis has been navigating the world of Turkish bathhouses. We haven't had a morality question for Lewis for a little while, but this is one it's actually not that far-fetched. And I recently read The Constant Gardener, and it's an issue that's in that book, and it's also an issue that exists in reality in the U.S. And here it is: if there was a medication in development that had the potential, it would save 10 million people afflicted with the disease, but will realistically kill 10,000 during the trials that will be necessary in order to get to that point. Is it ethical to develop it? What would you say? Would you go forward and say, yeah, 10,000 people will die, but we're going to save 10 million?
Is it, this is a complicated question. Is it ethical to develop it? Yes. As far as the testing goes, is it ethical to be giving it to people who you know are going to die and not tell them? Or, might die, not tell them. No, I don't think so.
All right, so let's add on to this. Number one, when people are participating in these trials, they're told they're experimental, there may be unpredictable side effects, up to and including death. Let's say people are told that. But inevitably still, 10,000 people are going to die from this until you get to the right formula, which will save 10 million people.
As long as the people in the trial are aware that it could kill them, yes, I think it's fine.
Okay. However, it's known that you are going to be able to perfect this and save 10 million people. So therefore, is it still ethical to subject people to die from a disease that if they just waited, they wouldn't have to die from, presumably?
So the disease that this is curing might not be fatal?
It would be fatal, but this is going to be, in other words, this is going to be done, it's going to be developed in a year, okay? All of the people still have several years to live, hypothetically, okay? So if they did wait, if they didn't participate, they would eventually be able to reap the benefits, assuming they could afford it, of this medication. So therefore, is it still ethical to subject people to a faster death? What do you think on this one, Natan?
The real question is whether you would volunteer to be one of the first ones to try it.
Yeah, it has to be obviously a volunteer basis. If you volunteer, let's say you're elderly and ill and you volunteer, that's fine if that's how they can achieve the right antidote or cure.
Okay, so let's restructure it. In what way would this not be ethical? If it was going to, if you weren't telling people that they were being used as guinea pigs, or if, like in The Constant Gardener, for example, you are specifically choosing low-income or third-world parts of the world to test this on, that I think we would all agree would be unethical.
Absolutely.
Okay, what if we play the devil's advocate and we say, you know what? We need to test it somewhere, and there's going to be more money made on this if we're able to give it to people in the U.S. and Europe after it's been licensed, than if we are to test it on people in the U.S. and Europe and give it to people in Africa. I mean, this is hypothetical if we're talking about tuberculosis, for example, is the case in Constant Gardener. Obviously, that's a complete profit motive situation. I would find it completely unethical to do it that way.
Right.
However, what if the argument from the pharmaceutical companies is why do we have to test it in the poor areas? Why do we have to do it that way?
Well, they don't have to, do they?
Would you ever take part in one of these trials?
Depends how much money I was going to be given. I don't think so.
No money.
No money?
You had a condition, and it wasn't looking good for you, but by taking part in the trial, maybe it's going to lead to the development of something that would save others.
Hard to say. It'd depend on how sick I was.
Right. All right. Well, there's Lewis's take on it. Lewis is wearing a David Pakman Show t-shirt made from 100% recycled materials. Get one at davidpakman.com/gear. We'll be back. We'll talk to Floyd Brown. We'll talk about yet another incident of right-wing terror, too.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.